Alright, welcome to my quick tip series. Now in this video, I'm helping you get those hard surface designs to the next level. And firstly, let's go through dynamic subdivisions and why they are an important first step. What I have here is a raw piece of low poly geometry. The fact that it's low poly is important as it means you can manipulate it easily before committing to something. Now up next, I'll press the shortcut D for dynamic, and this will create a preview of what the geometry will look like. It's not actual geometry. If we were to subdivide it, this is what it would look like. Shift D, by the way, will get you out of this mode. So D and Shift D. And this is a great dynamic workflow. It is important to get used to these type of dynamic workflows. It helps a ton later on. Now after this, I will crease the geometry in the dynamic subdiv menu to create some geometry that actually looks hard surface. And just as a heads up, you can use Shift F to get back out of the frame mode there. And what you can also do is have a look at the crease levels, which is under crease, and then bring the crease down, which will make it a lot softer, or bring it up, which will make it a lot harder. Now if this is too hard for you, what you can do is go on over to dynamic subdivisions and then smooth subdivisions. If you bring that down, it'll become sharper and sharper. And as you bring that up, this will become softer and softer. So as long as this level is under this level, it will become pretty soft. So 2 and 1, so on and so forth. But as soon as I go pretty close to that level or match that level, it's going to be very, very sharp. Now this can be a little bit distracting or jarring because nothing is really this sharp in reality. So you usually don't want levels that high. So somewhere along 3 or 2 with a subdivision of 3 or 4 on this side. That will also help when you're shaping your designs. I'll then shape the geometry to what I need it to be, and here I'm looking for plenty of asymmetry and variation. Now once I've found something I like, I will apply the dynamic subdivs to make the geometry real. And this also makes it way harder to create big changes, so be sure you want to apply the subdivisions before actually doing so. By the way, you can just create a duplicate just in case with Ctrl, Shift and D. Okay, finally let's start to actually create something even more interesting with this piece. Now it's basically a blank canvas and this is always daunting, but to keep things organized we are looking for variation, asymmetry and not too much repetition throughout the design. So with that in mind, let's start dividing this piece up into a good few million points, and then with the magic of masking, I'll create some abstract shapes to push and pull the geometry out using the move brush and the transpose tool or gizmo. Now because this piece is at the bottom of the abdomen, I'll try to create harder edges near the top to guide the eye up and softer edges near the bottom so it doesn't draw as much attention. Now this is the equivalent of a camera focus being blurry or sharp. More attention is usually given to objects in focus. While masking, I'll also blur the mask by Ctrl clicking on the mesh, and I'll also make sure to use the smooth brush to smooth some areas out if needed. Now I'll do this a few times to see what comes of it and if I like the design. Once I have a few areas pushed in or pulled out, I'll then use a harsher brush like the orb crack or the dam standard to highlight areas I want to draw the eye to. Now this was one of my first designs and I wasn't too happy with the final results, so I tried another one here and this looks a little bit better. It's the exact same concept, except here I'm using some harsher lines with some different designs to really push the eye up and also to create more variation in the design. I'm also trying my best to make sure that not every piece is the same distance from each other, because rookies love to center everything and it just ends up being repetitive and boring. Just shifting the position a little off center will make a massive difference. Keep this in mind. And this is pretty much the mentality I use for the rest of the model. And I'm not saying I always succeeded, as this chest piece is a little bit boring due to less variation, but for the most part I think it's a pretty good attempt at creating something with good design elements to tell a story or to help keep the eye moving along our model and not stagnate in one area. Oh, and by the way, I did create an entire video process on how I created this guy from start to finish. Now, it is without commentary and it is sped up, and I do skip a few things, but for the most part, you can tell how it's made just by watching that video. So yeah, there's definitely some cool things there which you can check out, so I'll leave a link down below for that as well. And as a set of bonus tips, in case you're wondering how to create these low poly piece blockouts, here are 2 methods that I use to create them. Now these aren't the only 2 methods, these are just the ones that I use that I think are pretty cool. So for the first method, I'll get a flat piece of high poly geometry and mask out a general shape for what I want. I'll then press Ctrl Shift plus E to create an edge loop cut to get the shape out of that. Now it's pretty high poly in poly count, so to reduce this I will first delete the hidden geometry, which is under Geometry, Modify Topology, Delete Hidden, and then use Z Remesher, which is also found under Geometry, to keep halving the count until I get something that isn't too distorted from the original shape. Now I'm also going to keep creases and detect edges on the zero mesh to help keep the shape when doing this, so just keep that in mind. There's quite a few settings here, just try and copy mine and you should be good to go. Now given that zero mesher isn't perfect, I will manually move some pieces to match what I originally had, and then I'll use the zmodeler, BZM, to Q-mesh the thickness of the mesh. And lastly, I will use group binormals to group areas for better creasing, aka crease by polygroups. Now, just so you know, for the lower angles over here under group binormals will create more groups, while higher angles will create less groups. Keep this in mind when using creasing or normals in any program, not just Zbrush. This is a great thing to know when you're in Maya or 3ds or even in Blender. Now I'll then do what I did for the other high poly shapes to get something interesting out of this one shape. And now for the second method, which is a little more tedious but has way more control. So for this to work, what I'll do is use the Topology brush, BTO, and for this brush to actually work, you'll need some geometry on which to use the brush. So here I have a crude version of generally what I want the topology to look like. I'll then draw out lines from the brush to create the geometry manually, polygon by polygon. You'll see these lines are dashed. And by the way, it's better to use this brush without symmetry and then mirror the mesh after that. But here I am using mirror and I'm just drawing out the basic shape and then connecting them with polygons. Now this brush will close pieces automatically as you draw them when they have 3 or 4 sides, so to create triangles or to create squares or rectangles. Now when you are done, just click on the mesh and the geometry will be made real. Now this isn't always going to create complete geometry, so I will have to use the zmodeler to clean up and bridge pieces and then move the geometry into what I want before adding thickness. And yeah, we have a piece of geometry with relatively good low topology that we created for a very specific purpose. It's a little bit tedious, but I do think it is worth it in the long run. Now it's actually even good enough to use as a base for retopology if you need to, so keep that in mind as well. It saves you a little bit of time. And that's about it for this. Now there's, like I said, these aren't the only ways to create topology like this, but I think these methods are pretty good outside of creating them from scratch or from using cubes and cylinders, which can be useful. And yep, that is it for this video. So like it if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. Check out my website, my blog, my Discord, all of that stuff, and I will see you in the next one.